My name is John Turk, and I am Sub-Zero.
You're not John Turk.
I'm not John Turk, but the real John Turk is here.
Yeah, we gotta scoot over.
Oh, John.
Hey, someone had Popeyes. I was talking about that earlier. We gotta go there.
Okay.
And there we go. Hey, what's up?
Well, what a huge honor to have John Turk here.
It's great to be here, man. I had a great day, a lot of fun, meet a lot of cool people, and really enjoyed it. So it's great that Doc puts this thing on and gets everybody together. And the game has had a great following, and it looks like it's still doing well. So.
And you came out here from California so that you could participate.
Yeah, San Diego.
Yeah.
A little warmer than it is here. 78 and sunny all the time. But
I'm from Florida, so I get that.
You understand.
Yeah. So tell us what you've been up to lately.
Well, acting is something I've kind of picked up from doing Mortal Kombat when I did Ultimate.
And
mythologies rather. And I just kind of grew into other roles, smaller roles, but I work as a trainer, personal trainer, just because I'm into health and fitness. So I do that in San Diego. I did it in Chicago because I'm from Chicago. But when I moved there, I just continued the business. I still work out, like martial arts is my background. I still do a little bit of, staying in shape. I'm a little older now, so the body still doesn't work a lot of times away from it. So.
Well, my wife and I were watching Prison Break, binge watching it, and we were pleasantly surprised to see you there.
Yeah, I was in the season 1. I was in episodes 5 and 6. And then I did a little part on Transformers: Dark of the Moon, where I beat up Shia LaBeouf and threw him over a car.
He deserved it.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat fans, did you know that John Turk, he was at the Batman...
Dark Knight.
The Dark Knights?
Yeah.
With, together with Richard Divisio. I don't know if you know that, but if you have no idea about it, check the movie again. You're gonna see Richard Divisio and John Turk.
Right.
Is there anybody else from Mortal Kombat in there, or just?
I don't think so.
Rich Divisio did a scene with me.
Yeah. He was sitting on the table like this.
He was sitting on a table.
Yeah.
So he did that. And a couple other shows. There was a show called Crisis. I was a regular on that. It came out for a season. It didn't get picked up. Just little bit parts here and there, and mostly just my personal training business. And that's it, man. I always trying to stay healthy, stay in shape. I love health and fitness. That's pretty much been my life. So in my mid-50s now, so it's life's kind of going by, and you got to stay on top of it. So.
Yeah, it gets really important.
Yeah,
especially at a certain age.
Right.
If you're not in shape, you can really go downhill.
Yeah, it goes down fast. After age 50, your body just declines even quicker. So you got to be on top of it even more.
Yeah, now we're all in the gaming community, so we're all people who like to sit down in a chair for 18 hours a day, eating Mountain Dew, drinking Doritos. Yeah, that's right, eating Mountain Dew and drinking Doritos. Any advice for us?
A little caution for that. You don't want to sit too long. You got to get up and move because you can form blood clots in your legs. This is honest to God truth. And if you sit for more than a few hours and don't move, you get up, one of those breaks loose. It can float to your lungs and kill you. Those are true stories that really happen. So if you're playing the game for a long time, try to get up and move after maybe an hour about at most. So, I just read about a few people that happened to. They had the internet games and they start playing for a really long time. And they're playing 3-4 people at a time. And they don't get up for a while. So
big problem for our community here.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about some of the stuff that happened in Mortal Kombat 3? Like when you were Sub-Zero, you had that scar on your face.
Right.
How did they do that?
Well, a lot of it was just makeup. I took a dark thick stick type makeup stick, and it was kind of gooey, and they just put it on there. I remember a couple times they put it on the wrong side. I'm like, I think it's on the wrong side. It's supposed to be, And sometimes it was red, and sometimes it was black. It all depended. I think the hardest thing was the costume. It was really hard to work with. Especially Sub-Zero was always, because it wasn't one of those things where we did a lot of posing. We actually were moving and kicking and doing everything. So the costume was always needing adjusting, had to be fixed, and it just wasn't comfortable. It wasn't flexible. It was stiff plastic. So it was a little hard to work with the mask. Whenever I would do any spin kicks, it would flip over on my face. Shang Tsung was hard because I had that long hair and that would
Probably
fly
whipping around all over
Yeah,
the
it was
place.
so
Yeah.
hard. And then that part of the costume kind of rolled up in places that weren't real fun, if you know what I mean. So,
Talking about the armpits, guys.
yeah.
Get your minds out of the gutter.
So, yeah, that's about it, man. So life is good. I love coming to these and I look forward to it. It's really cool to see the game still, alive and kicking, man.
Yeah, well, we're all really happy that you could come out here and join us. Us Mortal Kombat fans, we kind of live for things like this. And
Yeah.
it's great seeing you and some of your old buddies here
Yeah.
to join us.
Well, it's great getting everybody together that I haven't seen in a long time, too. I haven't seen John and Tobias probably in a good 15, 20 years, so great seeing everybody. I still talk to a few of the other people, but yeah, some of them you never meet because you really don't film anymore.
Right.
You're off in separate space and you come in and do your own stuff and then they digitize everything together. So people think a lot of times we know each other, but you really don't, Like I met 4 or 5 of them that I never met before. So like Luke Kane I never met, Caitlin I never met. So there's quite a few of them. But Rich DeVizio and I did mythology together, so we worked actually a lot on scene. And we,
Well, you actually got to have dialogue in that game. That
yeah.
was the first time that really happened. You got to sort of bounce off of each other. You had good chemistry in that game.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Rich is a real funny guy too. He's always coming up with goofy stuff. And even if he were to mess up his lines, he'd stay in character as much as he can, but then he would say something really goofy, get you out of character. But he's a funny guy. Good, real fun to work with.
Well, there's a bloopers reel that's hidden inside Mortal Kombat Mythologies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a lot of us have gotten the chance to see some of the goofy stuff that he said and done.
Oh, yeah. He did his little De Niro skit. Did you hear that one?
I heard things.
Yeah.
I heard things.
I heard things.
He's the mythology specialist.
Right.
Well, I think Mythologies is the most underrated and underappreciated Mortal Kombat game of all time. People don't realize how awesome those scenes were that you guys did. I mean,
I think I might get it to
if you played it on the Nintendo 64, those were all chopped out. You didn't get to see or experience any of that. If you played it on the PlayStation, it was a real treat.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The hard part was it was a green screen, and you had to visualize that you were climbing up this mountain. There was a big pit below you, burning sulfur, and they would tell you, well, just so you know, there's a pit of burning sulfur below you, and there's this thing over here in the sky coming at you, and you're like, okay, I never did this before, but I'll try to act like it's.
Well, you look down and you look up and you look scared, and it works.
There you go.
Once the special effects guys do their thing, and it all comes together. It was great.
Yeah, so that was a good time, man. It's like I'm still shocked when I see so many people interested in the game and still love it, And even on Facebook, I get people from Russia, Brazil, Argentina, Poland, the Ukraine contacting me about how much they love Mortal Kombat. It's pretty amazing, man. It's a pretty cool thing to see.
And even though you were in Mortal Kombat 3, and then you filmed some more for Ultimate, and then you did Mythologies, that wasn't the end of it, because you came back and you did voice work for some of the games.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did a lot of the voices for Sub-Zero. I went into the sound booth and did a lot of the fatalities and things like that. So that was actually my first chance ever doing voiceover, and it was kind of interesting because I've done a few more since then. But it was just kind of cool,
It was kind of neat that you got a chance to reprise your role as Sub-Zero, because even though they weren't filming, they weren't digitizing, they weren't using live actors, they still brought in the real Sub-Zero for the voices. That was a good move.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was. I think that was John that thought about Tobias. I don't know who it was that brought it up, but they're like, "Can you do a voiceover?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So I did it a few times with them, and they told me what to say. So we went in the booth, and it worked out really well. And it was kind of weird because I never heard it when you're doing it, they don't replay it for you. You just do it. So when the game came out and I would hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember doing that. And it's kind of cool to see the finished product.
If I recall, you kind of had gibberish that you were recording, something like a focus piano or something weird.
Yeah, because when White did that, he goes, "You just got to say some, say this, and then." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Do it. I'll tell you later." So I had to gibberish. It was interesting doing it, but it's Yeah, it's like so long ago. I can't go 1990 something. So you're talking 20 years ago, and some of it I've forgotten, but a lot of it you still remember because it just kind of sticks with you. You never really find yourself in a sound booth making all kinds of weird noises to remember all that. But yeah, I've done a little bit of voiceover since then on like certain little people trying upstart games and things like that. And voiceover's cool too, you know. I wouldn't mind trying to go into a career doing that, but it's one of those industries real hard to crack like that.
I have a question. How your life is changed after Mortal Kombat? Did when you're going out on the street, people recognize you? Oh, Sub-Zero, Shang Tsung.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I first did the game way back when, people recognized me. You know, now it's kind of older and there's a select group that play it. But I remember recently I was in a store and a guy came up to me and he says, "Man, like, I don't know what it is, but you look really familiar to me." And my wife, she's always like my little cheerleader. She's like, "Hey, do you ever play Mortal Kombat?" He goes, "Oh, I love Mortal Kombat." "Oh, I realize it now. You're Sub-Zero." So it's kind of funny he recognized me from that, and it was 20 years ago.
Well, if you ever want to try to mix it up, next time someone asks, "Hey, you look familiar. Do I know you from somewhere?" You can say, "Well, do you watch a lot of gay porn?"
I don't think I would say that one about any porn for that matter, but. Yeah, I'll stick with the gaming industry for now.
That works.
What is actually your favorite character from MK3 or Ultimate Mortal Kombat?
Of the ones I did?
Yes.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, well, I look at it as far as like filming. When I look at it, the finished filming wise, I gotta say probably Sub-Zero. Just did a lot of different stuff. Shang Tsung was just really hard to film, like with that hair piece I had on. It was really tough, but I gotta say Sub-Zero just because it was fun to do. Because like when I did Ultimate, we did some different stuff from 3.
Okay.
So, and I had by that time developed a relationship with the makers of it. So, I had input on what some of the moves are. They got my advice on some of them just because I had a martial arts background. So, you just like anything else. The job you work, you become familiar with the people you work with, and you have a really good working rapport. And the guys that designed the game, really don't have a martial arts background. But I was kind of surprised to see that they researched stuff, and they really looked into things, and they knew a lot of the things about certain styles and stuff like that. So it was kind of impressive that they didn't just come up and say we want to do this game. They really did the research on it. And the way they drew some of the stuff was so cool. The characters.
I mean, that means that's the point at Mortal Kombat. They do stuff. It looks real.
Right.
The fighting styles and all that stuff.
Right.
Well, they made it very authentic, and I think it's like you said, they did their research. Also, some of the guys were friends, and some of those friends, they did a lot of martial arts, and they're sharing what they know, and they're listening.
Right.
They're paying good attention. They're incorporating that into the games.
Right. Yeah, and it showed because a lot of the characters are like, that's pretty cool. That's Wing Chun or that's karate. You could definitely see the different styles in a lot of the characters. Like I have a black belt in Taekwondo, and a lot of the stuff that I did were Taekwondo type things. Like which Kano is Wing Chun, and so you can see a lot of his stuff as Wing Chun. So you can see the different styles in the characters from the different martial arts, which is another thing that's pretty cool, And then different weapons you had in there that, like this character here is, using his bow and arrow.
So we're watching a video showing Kung Jin right now, using his archery style. But yeah, it's really neat. And even in the new games, they motion capture real martial artists doing their moves and then applying them to a 3D figure in the game. So they still have that authentic martial arts feel in all the Mortal Kombat games.
Right, yeah.
Whether you're filming somebody or motion capturing them for 3D, you still want that real martial arts. It's a real punch. It's a real kick based on a real fighting style.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, it's like, every game now, it's all about the realism, Even when you're playing like, you don't want to mention another game, but when you're playing like some of the other newer games, it's like you're in the game, And that's what I think was great about Mortal Kombat. You feel like you're in the game, you're part of the game,
How do I type in here? Can I click on it? Is it touchscreen?
I'm going
All
to
you
reply
gotta
to
do
this
is just
question.
click, you can
Matix,
Oh, the mouse pad. The
218.
trackpad's disabled.
Yeah, just use
All
the
right,
mouse.
I'm going to type in
Yes.
yes.
No, I think
He is definitely the guys from mythology.
Oh, okay.
yeah. A lot of people are like stoked to see you.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Someone was asking if you were in the movie Book of Swords.
No.
Oh, I have Book of Swords. Man, that's a whole thing. That movie's like hard to get now. I got it on eBay one day, and I just thought they were everywhere. And it appears like I'm one of the very few people with a copy. But that's a good movie. If you guys can have a chance to check that out, by all means, you should. You weren't in that one, but you have done other things in your career.
Yeah. If you want to find out what I did, there's a website called Internet Movie Database. It's called imdb.com, and then put John Turk in there, and you'll see like 4 John Turks. I'll be John Turk number 1, and you can see what I've been in and what I've done. So
this is the real John Turk.
The real one, yes.
By the way, what's your Twitter handle?
The real John Turk.
The real John Turk.
Yeah, that's my Twitter handle. Yeah.
Not the digitized.
Not the digitized. Yes.
He's really real. Yeah, he's real.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, if you guys have a question, please let us know. We're gonna try the best to get the answer.
Someone says,
Yeah, if you have anything you want to ask John Turk. Well, here's a guy. He's saying that he's played it on the Nintendo 64. He didn't play it on the PlayStation.
Oh, yeah.
Still had fun. You can't see all the cutscenes and all the acting.
Right.
Still a fun game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I played a pirate version on the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. Now the Midway team had nothing to do
We
with
played
it.
pirate
But
game.
people took the game from the PlayStation N64, back-ported it to the older system,
Cheetah.
just to see what they could do, and it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Still has that Mortal Kombat feel to it.
Yeah. I mean,
It's the real martial arts. It's the real kicks, the real punches, like you were saying.
Right. Yeah, so when I started, when I was younger, the only game that was out was Pong. You remember Pong?
Oh yeah, I had a Pong machine. I got a Pong machine at a yard sale.
Yeah.
Actually, you could play Pong at MK2 and MK3.
Really?
Yes.
You need to beat a 250 match in a row in MK2, then you can play Pong.
Oh, wow, man. I didn't know that.
And also in MK3.
Yeah. Now, how do you get to an MK3? Is it only Sega Genesis and Mega Drive? I think.
Yeah, I think
I think there's an
yeah.
exclusive code.
But I don't remember it was not 215 match in a row because I tried that to figure it out, but I don't remember exactly how it works. But I know Pong is true in MK3.
Well, there is the super secret Ed Boon menu in all the arcade machines.
The
Yeah.
EJB.
We tried that yesterday.
Yeah, we did it. We didn't just try it. We did it.
John, have you seen that yet? Yeah, so it's like a hidden menu that Ed Boon had put in, and it's got like a thank you to like I guess personal friends and family on there, and you can like instantly skip to the endings of the characters.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
It got found out 23 years later.
Yeah, just kidding.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And
Okay.
if you see the combination, how to do that, this is impossible that someone find that out.
Okay, it's like
Yeah,
you
right,
press
right.
block 5 times on the first player, then 10 times on the second player, then 2 times, then 1 time, then 2, then 3, then 4, and it's like no one would just stumble upon that. That had to have been leaked.
That's like, WikiLeaks code.
Yeah.
Like some Mortal Kombat.
Julian Assange is on the other side.
No, which makes you wonder: was it a real leak from someone who worked on the game, or did some crazy hacker go into the code and actually look for what inputs would trigger something?
Yeah, man.
Something
Wow.
happened. We might never know the whole story.
Yeah,
But
it's
I know
crazy.
there's no way you could just accidentally just
No, how
fool
do you
around
do
with the
that?
block button and do it.
No, unless you like passed out like 6 times, hit your head, and fell over, hit your head again a couple times. Stood up, fell.
I think what really happened was John Turk here, using his Shang Tsung powers, he looked into the Midway team's soul and got the code that way.
Yes, I did. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them about the game or anything else. Or
I think everybody's just so excited to see you. They're overwhelmed. Can't think of a single thing to ask.
let me see what's on there.
Ryan over here is cracking up. Yeah, so they liked you best when you were the unmasked Sub-Zero.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting. You know, the whole thing with that game was bizarre. Is I didn't know how popular it was because I didn't do 1 and 2, and I was a policeman, and I just kind of at the time decided I'm gonna give acting a try because I just figured I'd give it a whirl, and I went and got an agent, and they sent me on my first audition was for Mortal Kombat, and that's when I met John and Ed Boon, and so when I went in their studio and they ended up casting me in the role, and then I ended up doing all the other ones, I still wasn't aware of how big the game was, and then I was out on a date, and John called me and he says, "Hey man, the game's out. Go to an arcade and check it out." I said, "Okay." So this is the first date I had with the girl, and I said, "Hey man, there's an arcade here. Are you interested in going?" She says, "Yeah, sure. But what for?" And I said, "I did this game and it's supposed to be out right now. I just want to see what it is." So I walk in and the game is, you know, the arcades, everyone's playing one game, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what the game is that I'm in. So she goes, "What's the name of it?" I go, "Mortal Kombat." She goes, "That's it, where all those kids are playing." So I walked over, there's like 30 kids around the game, and I look and he's playing the unmasked Sub-Zero. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's me, you know, it was kind of weird. And the girl goes, "That is you, I can't believe that." So she taps the guy in the shoulder playing the game. She says, "Hey man, the guy you're playing is right behind you." And he turns around and looks at me and he says, "Yeah, you look a little like him." And he keeps playing. And the girl says, no, it really is. And he says, "Are you John Turk?" And I said, and I didn't know that my name was in the game. And I go, "How did you know my name?" And he goes, "Oh my gosh." And next thing I knew, I was swarmed by all these people playing the game. And that was pretty interesting. I definitely impressed my date that night, that's for sure.
All right.
But yeah, it was when I realized, wow, this is a bigger game. And then when I was a policeman, I was a DARE officer, and DARE in the Chicago area is drug awareness resistance education. It's to keep kids off drugs. And I went back and had told the boss on the head chief, you know, "Hey, I did this video game. It's pretty cool. If you're at the next DARE thing, maybe some of these kids will really, you know, they probably play the game. I'm sure. Maybe you'll mention." He goes, "Oh, let me look into it." And he goes, "Wow, it's a popular game." He goes, "I will." So we're in an auditorium, and he mentioned it, and everyone just came up to me, and I was signing autographs. Well, we got a complaint the next day because they complained that it's such a violent game, and they can't believe that a policeman's promoting all this violence. And it's just a big mess.
But you can't win.
I've had some weird stuff. Yeah, I can't win. Just weird things happen, you know, just because of the game. So, you know, it's violent, but it's when you look at it, it's done well. You know, it's not like you're looking at it and you're pulling a head off, but you know, it's a game. It's for fun, and you're really not doing anything. You know, that I don't think people say that these things cause people to do, you know, crazy things. And I don't think that's the case. You know, everything's got to be put in perspective. I think people get kind of worked up over all this, and
It's a guilty pleasure.
yeah. You know, we've had bad movies for a long time. Not bad movies, but movies involving guns and everything else. But you know, MK, I think, is cutting edge with when it comes to the games that really involve, you know, fighting and violence, and I think all the other ones just played off of MK, basically. And even look at some of the newer games that aren't Mortal Kombat, you can still see a little touch of either Mortal Kombat action.
Yeah, I think Mortal Kombat was one of the first to push the envelope.
Yeah, right.
And there might be a couple other ones that got some notoriety.
Yeah.
But this is the one that sort of caused the whole rating system. Like, games didn't used to have ratings, and now they do.
Yeah, right.
And Mortal Kombat was sort of at the center of the controversy with the congressional hearings and all that.
You know what I'm interested in hearing from all the fans is what their favorite fatality is. That's what I'd like to know.
Okay. All right, guys.
My favorite fatality is when you reach in and pull the whole skeletal structure right out of it.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one. I'd like to know what everybody else's is.
Well, we do have a question for you now.
Yeah, sure.
What was your favorite Mortal Kombat project that you worked on?
Mythologies. Yeah, because you know, it was the first time I acted, and I you know, got to interact actually with another character, and we had a lot of fun. I mean, there were long days filming, but working with Rich and everybody else, it was just, you know, you get a little loopy after a while. You know, you're just tired, you're stuck in a room filming and going over the same thing over and over. So after a while, you got to make as much fun out of it as you can, and we did. You know, we had a good time and laughs, and you know, you can't take everything too serious. You know. And actually, if you have a little fun with it, it makes you can bring more out of the character too.
Yeah.
So
And that transfers well to the player.
Right,
They see
right.
the fun that everyone's having. They're in on it.
You're more creative when you're relaxed and you're having fun. If you're too stiff, you're too worried, it stifles creativity. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I have a couple of friends that are writers, and they say that they get writer's block if they have too many things going on, like if they got too much to worry about in their regular life.
Hey, look at all this. Look
We
who's here.
have two special guests coming
You guys
down.
gonna want to get done
We
here.
got another good question for you though before we go. If NetherRealm Studios ever made a Mythologies 2 and asked to do cutscenes,
We have Daniel
I
Pizzino.
gotta get my notebook.
We have two. John Tobias.
Like I was still Sub-Zero, but I was like the grandmaster.
Yeah, like the older
I do it.
You would do
yeah,
it?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. As long as I'm playing the same guy.
Yeah.
Just an older version.
Right on.
So I know you guys got to get the
Oh,
John
you want to
over
keep
here.
John here?
No. You want?
No, we can both talk.
Yeah, we
Oh, yeah, sure.
We can talk about the shoot.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way to